Hi guys and welcome. I am Enigmius and you are just in time. Today, the Hive Reborn. If you recall in the last episode I was showing you what I had done, the early stages of trying to increase the productivity within the Hive and running out of space, being concerned that I wasn't going to have enough room to do what I needed to do. I said I was going to take a look at it and see what my options were, and I'm very, very happy to report that we were successful in getting things mostly to the point where I would like them. I just want to touch on a few things before we get into the tour. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to the people who have been offering ideas and tips in the comment section and even occasionally by PM. Even if I can't use your idea or I already knew your tip, it's just absolutely fantastic to see people being creative and collaborating and just being good folks somewhere on the internet. So thank you by all means. Keep that up. Also, I mentioned in the last video that I had a number of trees in my rubber forest that weren't producing. I would run by and they wouldn't have the little yellow sticky resin nodes no matter how long they had sat there. And I commented that I might have to cull the forest and get rid of all the ones that weren't producing, which I did. I ended up actually taking out about 2/3 of the trees, and you can see here a couple of saplings are still yet to sprout, but it's growing back rather nicely, and I'm hopeful that this time around it'll be a little bit more productive. If not, I've still got my chainsaw. So let's get into the tour of the hive. Now, first of all, this is my new production area. This is my manual production area, and you can see I'm up on the level of the walkway, what will eventually be the railroad. So that was kind of nice, is being able to move up here when I want to come and go from the hive. I'm right there for the most part. I've also replaced my normal crafting table with 2 project tables. These are basically crafting tables with a small inventory, and the nice thing about them is that you can leave things on them. Like, for example, let's say I wanted to make something out of torches, and you can close it and come back and it's still there. So that's kind of cool. I'm notorious for grabbing everything but the one thing that I need to finish a recipe, and then I have to pull everything off and grab it out of a chest and start over. So that brings the end to that. And also, if I need to make something before I can finish one recipe, I can just come over here and make it and then go back. So that's kind of cool. Also, I've added a mass fabricator. If you're not familiar, a mass fabricator basically drains a lot of power. The amount of power can be reduced by feeding it scrap. And when it reaches 100%, it makes one of these, a UU matter. Now, UU matter can be combined on a crafting table into a variety of different shapes and produces a number of different items, but the one I am interested in is iridium ore. The only way to get iridium ore is by making it with UU matter, and the only place to get UU matter is from a mass fabricator. You can take iridium ore, convert it to iridium plates, and take iridium plates and convert it to quantum armor. Now, my character has been wearing the same suit of iron armor for as long as I can remember. When it gets worn down, I just feed it into my repair chest and then put it back on. So it's starting to get a little bit smelly. I am looking forward to an upgrade. So this is the chest that's receiving my scrap. You can see I've got a little bit set aside. And then this is my energy condenser, the same one that I've been feeding my cobblestone and other quarry junk to for as long as I can remember. I needed torches, and then I forgot to put something else in. Actually, let's take this. Ender pearls are lots of EMC, so they gobble up lots of items. So now we're going to head... Actually, we have to go upstairs first. And I'll show you the upgrade here. These are my solar panels. We've all seen these. These are low voltage solar arrays, medium voltage solar arrays, and now we've got blue electric solar arrays. I've got 64 of these little solar panels and 4 blue electric battery boxes, storing it so that at nighttime when they aren't generating power, I've still got a reserve to keep my machines running. And I don't have a lot of blue electric machines drawing power right now, but that may change in the not too distant future. It's just always nice to have more power than you need. So now we're going to go all the way down to the bottom and work our way back up. You can see as I go by, there's crazy stuff going on, but we'll go through each floor individually, starting from the beginning. Now, this is the bottom floor. There used to be nothing down here. I had absolutely nothing going on in this area here. And now I've got my initial item sorting. This is the item teleport pipe receiving all of the items from each of the 4 quarries. You can see the stream of cobblestone and other goodies here. Now, I looked in the wiki, I looked everywhere I could think of to find the answer to the big burning question, what's the difference between stone pipes and cobblestone pipes? Couldn't really find an answer until I finally figured out on my own, which is not to say I'm the first person to figure this out, but I was just happy that I figured it out without being told that the primary difference and benefit between the two is that you can put them side by side without having them merge. So there's stone pipe and cobblestone pipe. You can alternate and have them directly side by side and they don't merge all into a big massive intertwined pipe. So that's the only benefit I've been able to find, but it's actually a good one because it allows me to get more out of less space. So this guy is doing the sort just like it always did, only a floor lower. And then we come up here, and this is the first refining room. Now, so many things going on down here. Do I have... Yes, I have my jetpack on. Yes, I need my jetpack to get around in my machine rooms. We'll start in the back here. All of the ore blocks and coal, you can see all of these guys here are being fed by the sorting system downstairs into this chest. This filter then pulls them out of the chest and into this tube network, the brown tubes up above along here, both sides. From there, where did I go? Oh. There's filters over each macerator that will pull a particular kind of ore block or coal out of the tube network into the macerator below, which turns it into dust and then gets pulled out of the macerator by the retriever up here. You can see that guy blinking. So the nice thing about the retriever is that it works remotely. I've got one block all the way up there. That's one of the machines being powered by the blue electric power. It's basically pulling things out of the macerators from up there. So down here, I don't have to have a bank of redstone engines or a bunch of filters sticking out the front with tubes and redstone pulses and all that other stuff working. It's just I hook up the tubes to the retriever, make sure the retriever is receiving a redstone pulse. It's done. That's it. That's all I needed to do. And I was so happy when I found that because it saved, that by itself saved a ton of space. Now, the one thing that I did notice this morning, or actually I thought about this morning, is that I could now move these machines closer together and save even more space that way, or add 2 more machines into the gaps in between these ones. Now, the reason why they're spread apart like this is that it used to be that I would have the macerator here, and then there would be a tube going into the macerator with the filter above the tube, and then these tubes above the filter. So I had an extra block in here, and the reason why I had that tube above the macerator was because I had redstone engines in front of the macerator pulling this stuff out. And if I had the filter directly next to a redstone engine, I ran the risk of the redstone signal that was powering the engine also reaching the filter, which would make the filter not work. So I had to have that separation between the two. And then because I had the tube between the macerator and the filter, if I had the machines side by side, the tubes would merge and that would just be a mess. So not only did using the retriever save a ton of space out front, it also gives me the option now to stack machines side by side. Now, the one reason that I thought of that I didn't necessarily want to jump in and do right away is because I would probably also have to rework the way that I'm feeding power down here because there wouldn't be enough packets to feed all of the machines. So I'm happy with the way it is now. And this is basalt cobblestone jacketed red alloy wire. It's basically like this red alloy wire, only it's got a basalt cobblestone, think of it as an insulation on it. It's mostly aesthetic, but it also allows me to, for example, we'll just give you a quick demonstration here. I'm going to need more than what I've got. So we have your basic red alloy wire, which you can put on the floor. But then if you want to build directly vertically up, there's nothing you can do. You can't put another one on top of it. You can't do anything. So that's a limitation of the, actually, so no one gets confused. So that's a limitation of the red alloy wire. But if you've got the jacketed stuff, you can put one down there, and then one on top of it, and maybe you want one to come out the side, blah, blah, blah. It basically makes it work just like copper cable or something like that. You can actually build out with it, which is cool because I'm using it to power the redstone signal, or yeah, carry the redstone signal that keeps my machines charged up. So that's the macerator layer. This used to be that one whole bank upstairs, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to have enough room to do anything else. And this is the floor that the macerator layer was on, and you can see I've got a whole other array of machines. So this is the tube coming from downstairs. The filter pole, you know, shoots everything up here. Most of the dusts just feed into the tube network above the machines, but we've got a filter here pulling the copper and tin dust into this chest here, and then this sorting machine is pulling them out in different sort of setups. This is not working at all. Goodbye. We're just gonna... So you can see now it's actually cycling through the different columns, feeding it through. So much tin. I'm happy to get rid of it. But basically, the long story short is I've got two blue columns here. The little wee tiny blue dot, I probably won't even be able to see it in the finished video. And then I've got a pipe here that's got blue paint on it. And all of the items that are tagged for blue go in the blue pipe, and all of the items that are tagged for white, you can see, go in the white pipe. So that's one way of using the sorting machine to route things through different tubes. And that's what it's doing, is it's cycling through. Now, the things that come through the blue pipe, again, just get fed back into the network of tubes above the machine, so that's making tin and copper ingots. But the ones that go through the white pipe go to this automatic crafting table, 3 copper and 1 tin, and gets converted into bronze dust, which is then pulled out into this chest, and then it's pulled out and fed into the pipe network as bronze dust to make bronze ingots. So I'm able to make all different kinds of ingots down here now without having to worry too much about what's going where. I can set up my own ratios to say turn X into what, you know, however many of this into bronze and the rest into copper and tin. So if you look over here, we're doing something similar with iron, only we've got this filter here pulling the iron dust out of the tube network, sends it into the furnace below, which makes iron ingots, and feeds it out into this sorting pipe, which sends 2 out of every 3 ingots up this pipe here and into another furnace to be converted into refined iron, and then 1 out of every 3 just gets sent to this chest. This chest is sort of my we're done here, send it upstairs sort of chest. So that's how I'm working the sorting. And just let me get rid of these 2 copper ingots, which will be pulled, yeah, pretty much instantly. So then over here we're doing something similar. We've got the filter pulling coal dust into this chest, which is then pulled by another sorting machine. It's, in this case, it's just alternating between stacks of 4 and stacks of 24. The stacks of 24 just get routed directly to this chest to go upstairs into storage because you use them to make solar panels. And then the stacks of 4 get sent up through the white pipe into the automatic crafting table and turned into raw carbon fiber, which is then pulled out into this chest and then goes into the other crafting table where the raw carbon fiber is made into raw carbon mesh, which is then pulled out by that filter and fed into the tube network, where it will eventually make its way into this compressor and converted into carbon plates. So there's a bit of a process, but you can see the automation. We're going from coal to carbon plates with how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 production steps in between, and it's completely hands off. So that's the goal that we're aiming for, is converting things into useful components without having to worry about it. And in the process of actually sorting the coal, I am reserving some coal, first of all, for just normal coal use. And then obviously we're dividing it so we still save some of the coal dust for the solar panels, and then the rest is converted into the carbon plates. So we're still getting all of the benefits that we need out of the item. We're just not having to spend as much of our own time refining it, which is cool. You can see we've got tin and gold and all kinds of other stuff heading upstairs. So that's where we're going to go. That's all we've got to see on this floor, as far as I can recall. And I can't even, like, I can't move around here again because too many blocks, but I'm fine with it. Then we come up here, taste the rainbow. This is we'll call it the final sorting room for now. It'll probably remain the final sorting room till the end of time. You can see the ingots are getting a color tag, and then they're moving through the network into the different pipes. All of the pipes have been painted with specific colors. So let's take a look at what we've got going over here. This is the chest, receiving everything from downstairs, basically acting as a buffer. And then another item sorting machine, taking all of the different ingots, assigning a color tag to them, and then sending them out in the pipes. And then black is the color for the coal dust, the carbon plate, and the rubber. That's actually, that's the one machine I forgot to show you. Direct in the floor directly below where we had the furnaces and the compressor, we've also got an extractor. The transposers outside, instead of feeding a chest up top, now just send everything directly through that little hole in the wall to here. This is what's left over from culling the rubber tree forest, but any sticky resin that gets sent in here gets pulled out and into the extractor downstairs and sent up here as well. So that's where that's coming from. Now, the reason all of these chests are sitting on pneumatic pipes is so that I can later come along and put in another retriever here and start the automated crafting process. My first goal will be to set it up so that I can make solar panels from scratch, which means I have to take copper and rubber to make wire. I then have to combine that wire with redstone and refined iron ingots to make electric circuits. I need to take, I can show you here, I'll have a chest with furnaces that will be automatically converted through the different crafting processes into generators. The generators will be combined with the electronic circuits to make, or the electronic circuits plus glass and the coal dust to make the solar panels. All completely hands off. Just anytime I'm logged into the game while the chunks that the Hive are in is loaded, I will be making solar panels, which I think is pretty cool. So that will be my next project, is getting that set up. I'll just show you over here. These are the recyclers. You can see there's some scrap going upstairs now. Recycler is just another kind of machine block. It takes whatever you want to recycle, and there's like a 12.5% chance or something that when it receives an item, it converts it to scrap. Whatever happens, whether you get scrap or not, the item it receives is destroyed. Like you saw that piece of cobblestone came in, it's gone. I didn't get anything out of it. That's fine. If you do get a piece of scrap, I'm set up with another retriever, up there, pulling the scrap out of the machines and sending it upstairs. So 3 recyclers, and the way it's set up now is this pipe is for every 12 pieces that go upstairs to the condenser, 3 of them get routed out to the side here, and then I've got these sorting things set up so that each recycler gets one of the group of 3 that gets sent over this way. So that's the recyclers, and here my alloy furnaces are going to be upgraded to blue electric alloy furnaces at some point in the very near future, if for no other reason so I don't have to worry about feeding them fuel. It's, it's not hugely complicated, but if I can automate anything, I will automate it, and having to feed fuel is something that I would just as happily skip. So I'll be putting some of these guys in. That's why I say it's nice to have that extra reserve, because I don't know how much those furnaces are going to use when they're running. And I'm using a lot more blue electric power than I thought I might. Sorry. And also a lot of like blue alloy wire, blue alloy ingots, red alloy ingots, all the other things that are made with alloy furnaces. I'm starting to use them a lot more lately. So definitely be nice to have that automated. So that's that. That's what I've been up to. This was many, many hours of thinking and pulling things apart and putting them back together and checking the wiki and learning about this and doing that and redoing it and doing it over and doing it again just because. So hopefully in the very near future, the Hive will be completely set up the way I want it to be, and I can once again resume my other activities, like, I don't know, getting quarries set up in the Nether. Now that I know exactly what I need to get everything sorted, I'll be much better suited to actually create it. I still have to build a room on the spire to house all the machines and stuff to process all of the materials that we'll be pulling out of those quarries. So the one thing that was, or an additional benefit to doing this in the Hive, is I got a lot of experience in how I want to set things up so that when I go into the Nether, I can custom build a room for it instead of trying to jam things into corners wherever I can find space. So that's the short-term goal. The long-term goal is still sort of up in the air, but it's going to involve killing lots of things, lots of explosions, lots of automation, and hopefully lots of fun. So I hope you're enjoying this series. I know this was kind of a dry tour. If you have anyone that likes the Minecraft that doesn't know about my videos, make sure that they know about my videos, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.